Welcome back, everyone. Great to be here with you on this Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast, episode 170. If you want to check out the 3 big takeaways for the day and any previous links we have giving you more continuing education, head on over to ihp.coach/170 for all of today's show notes. All right, let's dive into today's topic on the power of creating partnerships. This is something, honestly, that took me a really long time to do in my career. And one of the reasons was that I, like many practitioners, was really just heads down, focused on my clients. And when I first started out, keep in mind, I started out when I was an undergrad in college, and I was a part-time personal trainer and a nutritionist. And so basically I was working with, like, let's say 5 to 10 clients a week. That's it. Part-time, pretty much just nights. And that's what I did. And I loved it. And so I really had to focus on just 5 to 10 people. I mean, that's really it. And then I would get referrals from them, and I would work with them on putting together a personal training program or a nutrition program, or they might become a one-on-one client. But again, when you only have a certain amount of availability, you can't work with a whole lot of new clients. You can just kind of keep a couple spaces open. So if you have a client traveling, well, then you can kind of fit them in. So that was my life for quite some time. And then I graduated and I said, okay, I want to do this full time. I kind of went back and forth, and I'm like, do I really want to do this? Do I not want to do this? Well, I do love it. Can you make money? I don't know, but hey, let's do it anyway. Like, that was the thing, because of course, you go to school, you have pressure from family, from parents, from friends, like, what are you doing with your life? All those types of things. And I was just like, listen, like, this is what I love to do. And so I'm just going to do it. And that's what I did. And I worked at a local health club, and I got paid, I think, a whole $8 an hour, and I was fine with that. And it's what I loved. And then, of course, I got paid a little bit more, not a lot more, for doing some nutrition and personal training sessions. Okay, so that was that. So really, I wasn't thinking about partnerships at that time whatsoever. It took me about 7 years. And I know that that's kind of, a long time to learn that. But hey, sometimes you learn things the slow way and the hard way. But what I realized was, when I opened my first location in Boston, that I was starting from scratch again. I mean, I basically started over my career like 5 times from scratch when I think about it. It's like, okay, undergrad, then I graduated, and I moved in the city in Boston, and then I left and I started an at-home personal training, body transformation, nutrition company. And then I started consulting for over a dozen different spas and gyms and hiring all their people. And then I said, I don't want to travel anymore. I really just like working with people, and I like helping them one-on-one. So I opened up my first location. And then I hired personal trainers and a team. And well, I guess that was the start to the rest is history. Then, of course, I opened my functional medicine and integrative health practice. But, in 2007, when I opened that first location, forget about all the at-home and everything I did before that, I realized, like, I'm literally starting from scratch. I've got a whole lot of overhead over here. I want to build up my teammates. And there's a lot of local companies that I think that I could connect with. So that is sometimes like the first interlude into partnerships. And some of those work well, but I want to tell you why it wasn't the best reason. Okay. So it wasn't the best reason because I would partner with, and I would go over to like the local cafe or coffee shop or those different types of places. And what I want to share with you is like, okay, great. Like, you could put a rack card over there and a coupon card here. Those are great. Okay. I consider that more networking though. So all of that was good. Like, I would probably bring in another 8 to 10 clients a month, like for my team, by all these different networking connections. And if you've never heard about rack cards and, working with your own network, do tune back because we did shows on that. And let's see, episode 146 and then episode 148. All right. So definitely go back, check out ihp.coach/170, and we'll link up those 2 previous shows. So that's great. Like, again, don't get me wrong. We did that. We were probably had 20 people, 24 people in our network. Fantastic. But I'll tell you what really worked. And this took a little bit longer, and I talk about it on those shows as well, is that what I thought about was, instead of how can I grow my business and help more people, right? That was it. I said, what do my current clients want more of? Or if they don't even know that they want it yet, how could I better serve them? That is when things started to take off. So now instead of focused on maybe the local cafe, right? Or coffee shop or whatever it might be, right? I was like, well, you know what? What do I like? What do I talk about? Oh, my acupuncturist or chiropractor or like whatever it was within a health network. And I realized that when I started to connect my clients with other health professionals, they were really appreciative, and the retention went through the roof, like for my entire team. And what happened was this: the partnership was no longer about how can we benefit, like as an overall studio location practice, but how can the client benefit? And they knew that because we were not being compensated for sending them to a chiropractor that does active release technique or Graston or kinesio taping or a massage therapist or a Rolfing person or an acupuncturist or what else is there? Cupping, like whatever you wanted, right? But they were then introduced to new health modalities that we didn't necessarily do. And although we weren't compensated in any way, the client was really appreciative because like, oh, why would I ever leave this nutritionist, personal trainer, et cetera, when they're the one that's basically, they're overlooking my entire health-based program. That was phenomenal. And what I also realized was that if you're the first person to give in a partnership and relationship, then there is reciprocity eventually, and usually, not always, but eventually and usually on the other end. So we started to introduce more people to, again, like we just went with one chiropractor that we like, one acupuncturist, one whatever, right? Massage therapist, esthetician, like et cetera. Like we would just kind of partner with all these people. And we realized that, slowly but surely, they started to do the same with their clients. Whenever someone talked about losing weight, getting in shape, fixing their lower back problems, et cetera, they would then start to refer to us. And so it became this really nice thing where there was no onus on either party to say, you need to refer X number of people per month. No, it wasn't about that. It was like, you care for your clients as much as we care for our clients. We're not going to let your clients down, and you do the same for us. When that happened, it was a steady stream of new referrals, not just from our own clients, but actually from client-based practitioners, or I should say practitioners with their own client base. And again, that's when I started to really learn about the power of partnerships from a positive perspective, where it was a win-win-win. I already knew about the win-win-win because as a owner of a studio with a team, I think I had around 13 people on my team, my first location. The next location had over 22 people. And for those 13 people, I realized that, okay, we have over 500 clients, somewhere around there. And I know that I can't work with all those people myself. It's impossible, right? Like I'll work my own 40 hours of client appointments, but I can't work their 40 hours of client appointments. And so what I was able to do was I always said, I'm going to take really good care of my team, all my coaches. And then if I do a good job there, hopefully they do a good job of taking care of their clients. So it was this win-win-win that I take care of my coaches. Hopefully they win from that. They get more education, they get more stability, they get great pay, they get all of those things. And then they feel like, okay, they're fulfilled, they're doing well, they're helping their clients. And it is this win-win-win because yes, the studio obviously has to be compensated in some way, but really as a business owner, and if you're building out your career and your program and your business as well, always think about this. You shouldn't get paid until everybody else succeeds. So your team has to succeed, their clients have to succeed, right? Or customers, however you want to look at it. And then if everything's going well, then eventually you'll get your percentage as well. And I think it's a nice way to look at it. And I kind of, again, look at like that for partnerships as well. Like, let me be the first to give and try to give more. And so whenever then I receive referrals or I receive something, I can feel good about that. Like I've already given first and now it's okay to get. I think that's, again, a nice way to look at it. So we try to do the same to this day, whether it's with Equalife or the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute. It's really about creating partnerships with good people that honestly care for their customers. So one of those, we just connected with Therasage. It's a good example. They honestly and truly care about creating the best products for their customers. And we feel the same exact way. So it's a natural partnership and it develops over time. It doesn't just happen one day like, hey, let's partner. No, like you get to know each other. You order some of their products already in advance, like, hey, let me test them out. Okay, I really like them. That's something that you want to promote. And then eventually you may connect. And it's a great way to do it. But I want to give you a real world example outside of my practices of other IHPs, integrative health practitioners, doing that right now in their virtual practices. So we have a few of our top IHPs and top Equalife ambassadors as well, that they've created a practice where they actually bring in the nutritional counselor, whatever you want to call them, right? Registered dietitian, nutritional specialist, et cetera. They bring in a mental health-based counselor, again, whatever you want to call it, performance coach, again, I don't want to put names in the different people's mouths of what they do, but some type of therapist, we'll put it that way. You've got your nutrition. You as the IHP can specialize in developing their integrative health-based protocols. And then you might have maybe like an online personal trainer. And each one of those people they've partnered with, and they've actually created a virtual partnership where they charge for a package that includes 2 personal training sessions, virtual, like to get a program created. One mental health-based session, we'll put it that way. And then another on a nutrition-based session. So each month, the client essentially gets 1 consultation per week. And it's 1 with the IHP, that's the head of it. They're putting all of this together. They get 1 to 2 with the personal trainer. They get 1 with the mental health, and they get 1 for the nutrition. And so what they've done is they've built a virtual functional medicine or integrative health practice where they are the lead, they are charging for all of those services and then compensated the different partners. That's another example. I mean, I think it's a really nice way where, again, is the IHP being paid for all of those? Well, I'm sure they're getting a percentage for charging for their overall package. But what they're also doing is literally giving income and sessions to a personal trainer, a therapist, a nutrition counselor. And that's a great thing as well. Because again, like I've always looked at it as if you can help build other people up in the industry, phenomenal. And your clients absolutely do win from that. And then I would say just a third way to look at it is if you are able to partner with brands. So yes, of course, we partner with Equalife, like the at-home lab testing, because it's best in class. But maybe you're thinking about partnering with a sauna or a cold plunge or an esthetician-based line, like whatever it might be. You can't, if it's your niche, then it works nicely. If it's forced on a client, obviously it doesn't work nicely. But you can build a bundle together. If you're the go-to detox person, like that's your niche, well, it may make sense to then partner with a sauna-based company or a functional medicine detox-based company, right? Like that makes a lot of sense. So what I want you to do, and the reason why I wanted to do this podcast is that I believe since most everything is moving virtual in the first place, even if you have a local-based office, what you want to be able to do is first ask, how can I best serve my client? Okay, great. Now, what of that are you able to do? Okay, check those boxes. What are you not able to do or do not want to fulfill? Now, those are where we're going to create the partnerships, right? Like that's what I think. That's how I'm always looking at it. Okay, I don't want to do chiropractic, acupuncture, massage, kinesio taping, colonics, like whatever it might be. Okay, so those are the people that I'm partnering with, and it may not be right for every client, but when a client is ready or I feel that they need it, I'm going to recommend it. Great. So that's kind of like in person, and you can also do it virtually. Now, okay, let's say I want to do at-home lab testing. I want to do functional medicine detoxes. I want to do, good quality nutritional supplements. I also want to do like earthing-based grounding pads. I want to do saunas. I want to do, what else would be like a really nice one as well? Different types of, fresh green juices. I want to do meal delivery. Then you're going to create partnerships there. So if you see what I'm saying, like you have your core practice, that's in the center of the circle. That's you. That's what you provide. Then another circle out is like your network of practitioners that you're partnering with. Then another network out would be maybe product based. And then another network out might be like newsletter or information based. So you can kind of see like all of these different things. You're not necessarily doing more work, but you're curating the partnerships. And for curating it, you actually will get a percentage because you deserve it. You're putting it together. But the client doesn't pay anymore. They're not paying additional money. What they're doing is they're just purchasing then an additional service that's complementary to yours. Now, the biggest thing that holds people back, and I'm sure it did for me in the beginning, you think that when you recommend your client or customer to another brand, that they're going to take your customer. That's not true at all. I'm telling you right now, all of us kind of think that in the beginning, but you eventually realize that it's not about this competition, that literally your clients are out there looking for these things anyway. And if you can curate it, put it together, you become that much more valuable. You become the opposite of what you once fared. So don't be afraid of promoting other brands, other practitioners. I'm telling you, in the end, your clients know that you have their best interests in heart. So few people in life have an individual's best interests at heart. And when you do that, you're going to see your practice grow exponentially. So hopefully today's show was valuable. Let us know if there's any questions. We're always happy to answer those. And for all of the show notes and previous podcast links that are pertinent to this show, head on over to ihp.coach/170. Take care, everybody.